and the message the treatment to Scindia sends out?
Look, his dad was also civil aviation minister, right? So if you're looking at legacy ministries, I think his father's stint at civil aviation would be a particularly enlightening one, because if you remember, under the PV Narasimha Rao government, Indian Airlines went on a strike and they got Uzbek and Turkmen Tu-154s, Tupolovs. One of them capsized on the runway, and Scindia immediately tendered his resignation. I think younger Bal Scindia's the deal is that Madhya Pradesh is his Tupolev Tu-154. If that particular government goes under, then he'll also be kind of expected to move out of government. If you look at both Sarma in Assam and Madhav Rao Scindia here, why are they in the cabinet? See, you either climb the hierarchy through hard work, or you bring something so substantial that it is in lieu of all that hard work over the years, which is kind of, they've got that kind of status and stature because they've done some kind of hard work in their native states over the years. So it's bringing all of that sort of account accumulation happening out there. You look at certain other people, for example, what does Jiten Prasada bring to the table? I don't think he'll be accommodated much the same way that these other two are. So there's also, because like Kaveri said, you have to keep your rank and file happy. That said, I'm just going to fine tune some of what Ashutosh and Kaveri said. See, the BJP's crisis is tactical reverses. Right. You can't compare tactical reverses with the strategic collapse that you're seeing in the Congress party. It's of a completely different nature and nuance. And I'll tell you why it's happening. If you look at this as somehow being the spectrum of Indian politics, the BJP has moved so far to the left that this is the space that everybody else is jostling for. Congress, CPI, SP, everyone. The only outflanking of the BJP possible now is on the right. You can't outflank them from the left anymore because the Congress is going to go the way the CPI went. Right. If you remember the CPI in 2004, they got their highest ever tally, 66, 67, maybe even 70 seats, I forget. And today, where are they? They're a single digit party, if that, managing to do things. You look at, even with Yogi, what's happening, everybody, there were some elections a month back and everybody said, oh, Yogi's finished. Then you had the Panchayat elections, I think, a few days back, and they wiped out everybody else. So again, there's ebbs and flows out here. Like we said, you can't conflate tactical reverses with strategic collapse. And just last point, there's a difference between, there's a very important point that Kaveri made about institutional memory and power. The BJP does not have institutional memory. It's got the memory of a guppy fish and it doesn't know how to use power, as opposed to the Congress. The problem with the Congress is the Congress institutional memory is of being both in center and state simultaneously, which is a different kind of power from just being in assorted states and not in the center. So there's a lot of fraying happening out there. The BJP is changing in a very different way. I think a lot of people in the BJP are upset that it's going from a cadre and ideology-based party to something like the Congress, which is a individual-based party. And it's not sitting well with a lot of BJP, especially in terms of how they feel ministers don't have agency and everything's being micromanaged out of the PMO.
Ashutosh, you want